I gave you my heart.
Yo, what's up, Pride Nation? Back at you with another one on today. This is Noble Sports Entertainment, your home for breaking sports news and sports talk. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and when you subscribe, make sure you also click on the bell icon that you may receive every upload that comes from Noble Sports Entertainment. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this one. All right, guys. Pretty much, we want to talk about some things to look for in the game against the Arizona Cardinals, and let's go ahead and get into it. All right, guys, pretty much we know that Matt Patricia is in year 2, and definitely he will be evaluated a lot too from the fans perspective to making sure that this is the right guy for the job. And there's a lot of high expectations for the Lions. Every season, the Lions come in with high expectations, and rightfully so, just like every other team in the NFL has high expectations to be able to win football games and eventually get to the big dance. But the number one thing this season is to be able to execute and to be able to implement the new offense and have guys buying in from day one. See, I told you guys before the season even started, and now we're here. I remember around draft time and some of those things that we were talking about, just saying that guys have to buy in from day one. You're buying in when you're buying in at the OTAs, when you're buying in preseason, when you're buying in when the time is to start the regular season. And definitely, man, Matt Patricia has to lead these guys to the playoffs this season. There's no ifs and buts about it. And definitely Matthew Stafford is going to have to have less turnovers and execute more better. I remember watching a game last opening season last year when opening day when the Lions went against the Jets. I think the Lions probably underestimated the Jets and therefore end up losing that game. So this time you don't want to underestimate the Arizona Cardinals just because they're not at full strength or have all their weapons to utilize, whether it's on offense or defense. That doesn't mean that you can't go out and lose, because we already know you're playing a league where any given Sunday any team can lose. So you have to come out and you have to play smash mouth football and come out and attack right away. The biggest thing with the Lions is being able to have an offensive line that is able to protect Matthew Stafford. We didn't know last season when we saw Matthew Stafford towards the end of the season, we didn't know that he was dealing with a broken back. We had no idea that this guy was still out there giving it his all and was not 100%. We know that this guy will play dinged up. He doesn't care. Matthew Stafford, if he's hurt, he still is trying to play. And you got to like that about him. You got to like the toughness about him. And there's not too many quarterbacks like Matthew Stafford who take a beating like he does. And hopefully this season, this offensive line will be able to gel, because the only how the Lions will be successful, guys, you hear me again, the only how the Lions will be successful this season is if the offensive line is good and they play solid. They're going to have to be able to establish the run this year. And that's the reason why we're doing the things that we're doing, because we want to establish the run with Kerryon Johnson, C.J. Anderson, and also Ty Johnson. We want to be able to do some special things with the ball on the ground. And this offense, guys, what you have to look for is that this offense is going to be different from Jim Bob Cooter. Now, we didn't get a chance to see Darrell Bevell's offense on full display. The book was pretty much simplified for everybody. And this season coming in, we know that the offense is going to be one of the key things to get this thing off, because we know that offenses score points, but defense wins championships. So you definitely got to be able to put up some points, but at the same time, you have to be able to run an efficient offense. And that's what I want to see from the Lions in this game against the Cardinals. I want to see the Lions play an efficient game, a game where they're balanced on offense, and a game where they can dictate on defense. And the offense, you as good as your offensive line is, you know, it goes hand in hand. The quarterback and the offensive line go hand in hand. If the offensive line is playing well out there, you're definitely going to see Matthew Stafford be poised and be able to sling the ball all over the field to his targets. Now, the biggest thing is now this season, the Lions have a tight end, and Jesse James and also TJ Hawkinson. And definitely, man, there's high expectations for TJ Hawkinson being the 8th pick. A lot of people was feeling that you don't take a tight end in the first round, but that's not the case, and that's not the scenario. You take what's the best player available to you, and when you're taking that player, you're making sure that he fits the team, and that's something that the Detroit Lions needed. They needed a tight end like a TJ Hawkinson that can block and also be able to run routes. And in the first season for a tight end, it's not always easy, but it looks like this thing is coming easy to TJ Hawkinson. He has been playing well throughout the training camps, throughout the joint practices. Wherever TJ Hawkinson has been, he's been playing extremely well. And definitely, man, I hope that these guys can stay injury-free this season and be able to see some great things, man. I'm expecting a big game out of TJ Hawkinson against these Cardinals. I definitely think that he can have at least 100 yards and about 6 or 7 balls catching and possibly 1 touchdown. I definitely think that the Lions need to go into this game with the mindset of that we came to win and we came to shut the NFL up and shock the NFL this season, because a lot of the media has been downplaying Detroit and pretty much saying that this team is nothing. This team is not going to win that many games, even though they saw all the moves that Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia was doing the offseason. They still have this team being a loser. And that's something that the Lions are going to have to do. They're going to have to go out and shut the naysayers up. If you want to shut them up, you got to go out there and win. So that's one thing that Matt Patricia is definitely going to have to do this season. He's going to have to go out there and win. And you know what, guys? That's something that I can't quite fathom. Why the media hates the Detroit Lions so much. Why do they hate the Detroit teams so much and never give them any credit for what they're doing? And that's the reason why we're here. That's the reason why DSA is here, to be able to combat against those that put out crazy reports against the Detroit Lions, not really examining the team as a whole, not looking at the whole picture. And when you're scouting a team, you have to look at the whole entire picture. You have to see what these guys have done in the draft. You have to see what these guys have done in free agency. And I think that the Detroit Lions warrant some type of credibility for going out and getting some key players to be a part of the team. I think the culture started changing when we started grabbing guys like Snacks. Snacks started it off, and then we started grabbing guys like Trey Flowers and Justin Coleman and other guys to be accoladed with this team. Jesse James. So definitely, man, what I'm expecting to see in this first game with the Lions is to go out and to be aggressive and to start off fast. The last couple seasons, the Lions have started off their games. They've been very, very slow and very, very stagnant on offense, and you want the offense to be better. But I definitely want to see how these new players fit in with what we're trying to do. Can't wait to see who's going to be that number 2 corner. We do not know yet. On the depth chart, I did see they had Justin Coleman, but I don't know if it's going to be Rashawn Melvin or him. I know Melvin was nursing the injury or whatever. But definitely we're going to see, man, what it takes to go out and win this season. This can be a special season for the Detroit Lions, but only if they go out there and they play hard and they focus on winning football games, learning how to close those games out and learning how to just build a culture that is able to buy in from day one. And I definitely see this team succeeding. But if they don't do that, then we're going to have a long season. If we can't protect Matthew Stafford on the offensive line, we are going to have a long season, guys. And we don't want to keep having these losing seasons. We want to be able to go out and eventually start winning some games. We know last year our record was 6-10, but we're trying to get better, and we're trying to double back and have a successful season this year. All the hard work, all the dedication, guys buying in, and eventually, if guys are buying in, I think that the process of winning will come easy to these guys. But if they don't buy in, then we're gonna have a long season, man. So hopefully the Lions will take this thing serious, and they will start learning how to win games on the road, games at home, and very, very close games, and not having to play from behind all the time. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe to Noble Sports Entertainment. On this channel, we talk sports, period. All right, guys, I'll be back to you soon with another video. I'm out of here. Till next time. Peace.
I gave you my heart.